this afternoon. She wrote, "You weren't joking. You hide your misogyny and your racism behind your jokes on ABC. This was a dog whistle to the violent left to assault me or worse." And you're misspelled "you're," of course. Well, that's nice. She thinks I have fans. I guess that's good. But now listen, not only don't I condone death or any kind of threats against anyone, especially as I get dozens of them a week myself. Compute this woman, you may remember, she's the one who endorsed fringe conspiracy theories and repeatedly indicated support for executing prominent Democratic politicians. Now she's dialing 911 because she got made fun of.
Breaking news. Laughter is now considered a threat to national security. At least that's what Marjorie Taylor Greene seems to think after she reported Jimmy Kimmel to the Capitol Police for cracking a joke about her. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. And I guess in MTG's world, the First Amendment comes with a no laughing clause. But wait till you hear how Kimmel responded. His comeback was so good, it should be illegal. But don't tell MTG that. Picture this. Jimmy Kimmel, our favorite late night funny man, is doing his usual thing. He's cracking jokes about the day's news, and suddenly he sets his sights on our favorite conspiracy-loving politician, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, MTG had been running her mouth again, calling folks who supported Biden's Supreme Court pick pro-pedophile.
On our show Tuesday night, MTG, Clan Mom as we call her, earlier in the day, called 3 of her fellow Republicans pro-pedophile for supporting Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson's nomination. She tweets. After she saw it, she tweeted, "ABC contacts my employer. This threat of violence against me by Jimmy Kimmel has been filed with the Capitol Police." She called the police. After processing the fact that someone called the police on me, believe it or not, this has never happened to me in my life. I tweeted back, I wrote, "Officer, I'd like to report a joke."
Yikes, right? So there's Kimmel, probably rolling his eyes so hard they might fall out of his head, and he drops this zinger. Where's Will Smith when you really need him? Ouch. Now, is it the most PC joke? Nah. Come on, it's a comedy show, not a church sermon. Plus, after the whole Oscar slapfest, Will Smith jokes are practically required by law for comedians. But MTG? Oh boy, she did not take kindly to this little quip. Instead of laughing it off like a normal person or, I don't know, addressing the actual issues, she goes full nuclear. We're talking Twitter meltdown of epic proportions. It's like she thought Kimmel was actually calling for Will Smith to come slap her. Newsflash, MTG, it's called a joke. The internet, being the beautiful dumpster fire that it is, had a field day with this. Memes started popping up faster than conspiracy theories at a QAnon convention. People were cracking up, wondering if MTG knows the difference between a punchline and a punch. I mean, come on, calling the cops over a joke. That's like calling the fire department because your mixtape is too hot. But wait, it gets even crazier. You won't believe what she did next. No, seriously, you won't believe it because I'm not gonna tell you yet. That's called a cliffhanger, folks. It's what we in the biz use to keep you on the edge of your seat. Is it working? Are you edgy? Good.
If she's gonna report me to the police, if that's how she wants to play it, I'll report you right back. And I won't go to the police, I'll go to the Justice League. Note to Jimmy Kimmel, not only would Marjorie Taylor Greene's husband make quick work of you, but Rep. MTG herself would make quick work of you. Kimmel would not last too long if he were interested in engaging in unprovoked, terrible violence against this Congresswoman. Keep wearing a mask while Senator Cruz replied to this, that was not written to him. Bizarre, 535 members of Congress can attend the State of the Union without wearing masks, still not good enough for Hollywood.
What I can tell you is that this whole kerfuffle blew up on social media faster than you can say space lasers. People were posting faster than MTG can spot a conspiracy theory. It was like watching a real-time roast battle, except one side was armed with jokes and the other side was, well, let's just say they brought a water pistol to a comedy fight. Alright folks, you thought the Twitter meltdown was wild. Well, hold on to your MAGA hats because MTG just cranked up the crazy to 11. Our favorite conspiracy-loving congresswoman decided that angry tweeting wasn't enough. No siree, she had to take it to the next level of ridiculous. So what did she do? She called the cops. That's right, MTG actually rang up the Capitol Police over a joke. I guess she thought they didn't have anything better to do than investigate late-night comedians. Maybe she was hoping they'd slap some handcuffs on Jimmy Kimmel for the terrible crime of hurting her feelings.
Hey, you know, all these crazy people in Congress, all of these low IQ individuals in Congress right now, there's one guy who's responsible for that, and that's Donald Trump.
First, new evidence tonight that we, you, the American people, all of us, we were all lied to.
Frankly, we did win this election. We did win this election.
We were lied to by Joe Biden.
Obama, amnesty. Amnesty, Obama, amnesty.
What kind of president needs a no card to answer a basic and predictable question?
But here's the kicker. The Capitol Police weren't exactly jumping at the chance to be MTG's personal comedy police. They didn't even bother to confirm if they were looking into it. It's almost like they have more important things to do than chase down comedians for telling jokes. Who would have thought? Now, you might be wondering, how did MTG's office try to spin this? Well, they put out a statement saying they take all threats of violence towards the Congresswoman very seriously. Yes, because we all know how dangerous those late-night comedians can be with their deadly punchlines and killer one-liners. But wait, there's more. Just when you thought this comedy circus couldn't get any nuttier, in walks the ringmaster himself. Yep, the Donald decided to join the party, and boy, did he bring the fireworks. Trump, in his infinite wisdom, called Kimmel a failed comedian. I guess in Trump's world, hosting a successful late night show for years is considered a failure. But then again, this is coming from a guy who thinks bankruptcy is a business strategy.
He's been sending very cleverly coded messages, narrating what he sees, maybe more clearly than anyone, the brazen and unchecked hypocrisy we're being bombarded with every day.
We're going to beat this coronavirus, or whatever you want to call it, and we're going to beat it soundly.
And Biden's lies are so bad that even the Washington Post is calling him out for his lies.
The Washington Post new report out today
Is poorly read from a teleprompter.
They sacrifice every day for the furniture, future.
And today, yet again, he struggled to get words out.
Anonymous, really, Ed.
Of course, Trump's little jab didn't go unnoticed. It was like throwing a juicy steak to a pack of hungry comedians. Late night hosts across the board jumped in to defend Kimmel, turning the whole thing into one big roast-a-thon. It was comedy gold, folks. And here's the cherry on top of this comedy sundae. Kimmel's ratings went through the roof. Turns out all this hullabaloo was like free advertising for his show. People tuned in by the truckload to see what all the fuss was about. So, in trying to shut Kimmel up, MTG and Trump basically handed him a megaphone and a bigger audience. Talk about a backfire. Well, folks, it looks like MTG's little tantrum backfired bigger than Trump's hair in a hurricane. Turns out, when you try to shut down comedy, you just end up becoming the punchline. It's like political whack-a-mole. The harder you try to smack down the jokes, the faster they pop up. This isn't the first rodeo for thin-skinned politicians, though. Remember when old Donnie Trump tried to muzzle the comedians? Yeah, that worked out great for him. About as well as his attempt at selling steaks at the Sharper Image. The more these bigwigs try to silence the laughs, the louder the giggles get. So here's a pro tip for our dear politicians. You can't handle a little roasting, maybe stick to cooking up conspiracy theories in your basement. At least there, the only thing laughing at you is your own echo.